Hey friends, it's Kip Icon and welcome back to Kip Plays Night in the Woods. In the last episode, we decided to do some ghost hunting, so here we are with the Microfiche machine. Alright, so what are we looking for? I want to steer. No. Move, I'm steering. Ow. Jeez, May. I'm sorry. Okay, how do we do this? Step 1, look at the screen. Step 2, move around and look at stuff. Step 3, find ghost. Sure. Alright, tragedy at Stafford Mine. An explosion occurred at 6:20 a.m. at the Stafford Mine. All work has ceased while men attempt to rescue any survivors. So far, 3 men have been pulled out alive along with 20 dead. The explosion occurred 10 miles deep in the mine and only one group of men were able to escape before the elevator's rope snapped, and the next group of men plummeted to their death. So far, hopes of finding more survivors is low. The main path on the tunnel caved in due to the explosion, and supervisors are still attempting to piece together exactly where everyone was during the accident. Events! The last trolley will make its run September 4th. Bernie Goss, the longest employee with 25 years as an operator, will pick up passengers starting at the Market Street Tunnel entrance and will end at the trolley garage where light refreshments will be served and a speech will be given by Congressman Archibald Reed. Twin Club will be meeting at the Stags on Wednesday night at 6 p.m. This month's craft will be knitted hats for the soldiers along with a potluck. All mothers of twins of any age are welcome. Really? Just for mothers who have twins? That's weird. Wonder how many mothers with twins there are out there. Oh, we already looked at that. Spectral happenings at Possum Jump. This looks like a ghost sighting. Hey, look at this. Yeah. Well, let me read it first, because I did actually press a button to spawn this dialogue here. 2 local sweethearts were startled this past Sunday night as they hiked along the wooded overlook known as Possum Jump. According to the lovebirds, at approximately 11:45 p.m., a figure appeared to walk from the edge of the cliff out into the open air and then disappeared. Forestry workers the next morning were unable to locate any evidence of anyone having leapt from the great height, leaving the exact nature of what the two saw a mystery. A decent hike up into the State Forest Hills, Possum Jump is famous for its beautiful view of the Echo Reservoir. It also holds historical importance as it hosts the lonely graves of several persons involved in the Possum Massacre. Looks like Possum Jump? Let me read it. It's Possum Jump. Okay, yeah, that's back up in the state park, right? Yeah. Ever been up there? Nope. Gonna check it out though. Go nuts. Alright, so we're gonna do that. What happens if we press on this one? This is interesting, but yeah, not exactly about a ghost. Oh, okay, I see. New Ole store in town center. The old Pickaxe hardware store is set to have its grand opening this Saturday. We received a sneak peek of the store yesterday, and our town will benefit greatly from this new addition. Roy Berg is bringing 25 years of building experience into his new venture and has stocked the shelves with all the nuts, bolts, and nails you would need for any project, plus the latest in tools. Stop by to see the latest trends in everything from handsaws to hammers. Best of luck, Mr. Burge. Is he gonna have anything to say about this? No ghost to be found here. The way you said ghost, it sounds like you don't believe me. Possum Massacre. Severe violence broke out at the Stafford mine strike today. The bosses arrived to attempt to renew talks and were taunted by some of the children present. Rocks were thrown in the National Guard and strike bearers opened fire on the crowd. After a few minutes, the smoke cleared and the gory scene revealed. 9 miners are dead with a dozen more injured. A young brother and sister were also shot dead as they were delivering a package of food to their father and uncle who was on strike below when the shooting broke out. The photograph of the 2 children, aged 7 and 9, who were shot in cold blood, has circulated far outside of our little county. The heinous act led to a personal visit from the governor to the strike site to meet with strikers. Independent inspectors were also brought in and talks finally began, 45 days since the start of the strike. The bosses have agreed to comply to the current safety standards and to honor the demands of the miners. Dang. That's awful that the kids were shot, but I guess it's not really true, right? Strange but true, a tale of teeth. Teeth! Strange but True is our ongoing series about the weird and forgotten aspects of Deep Hollow County's history and culture, published weekly. Bad bosses figure heavily into Possum Springs history, and this morbid tale of crime and secret societies is no exception. The story goes, in 1870, a local mine boss was skimming workers on their pay. A group of miners confronted him while he was in the act. He denied everything with many a slur and punched the miners' leader, Darnell Glace, in the face, causing him to lose his last remaining tooth. The miners knew how much Darney's tooth meant to him, and they descended on the boss. A few held the boss down, while others removed all of his teeth with pliers. The teeth were passed out to the miners, and a secret society was created with a vow to protect the workers' interests. That was the tooth we found! Oh my gosh! Membership was based on owning one of these teeth, and each was marked with a symbol of their choosing. These symbols were used around the coal patch to organize meetings and make announcements. The boss survived his attack, but never named his attackers for fear of implicating himself. When died a few years later, members dug up his grave to retrieve his skull. It was used in ceremonies performed before going out for retribution. Dang! All would gather around, place their teeth into the sockets, and later retrieve their tooth after the retribution was completed. Ooh. Upon a member's death, their tooth would be passed to a new member. Teeth of members in jail would be left in their sockets until their fates were decided. After the strike of 1889, the society dwindled. Occasionally, a descendant of one of these men will find a tooth with strange markings in their home. Strange, but true! Wow, that's crazy. Interesting. Okay. We read that. Strike! A strike at Stafford Mine has been called. The idea first arose after the memorial for the 1888 explosion victims. Miners gathered in the home of Arthur Borowski. Wait, Arthur Borowski? As in May Borowski's grandfather? To continue the memorial to their friends. They also began recounting all of the promises the bosses had reneged on this past year, including basic safety measures to avoid another explosion. A group of 20 miners entered the mines to begin the strike, and 30 more joined them before morning. All work had been stopped at the mine, and the miners are now striking in 8-hour shifts. Their wives and children have begun to bring food and water for the men. The bosses have stated that the mines are safer than they were a year ago and that there's no need to act in this manner. Dang, so we're finding out a lot about our history here. Do we have anything to say about it? This one? No ghost. Well, you're not going to call out the fact that we're talking about a Borowski here? Local ghost Little Joe at it again. As the school children are quick to inform you, Possum Springs has at least one resident who won't show up on any census survey. Little Joe, purportedly the ghost of Joe Shade, a miner who died in mysterious circumstances some decades ago, is a favorite spook story of the whimsical and weird members of our community. What's his name again? Little Joe. His most recent activities seem to involve getting up out of his coffin in the old section of Possum Springs Cemetery and strolling around, unnerving visitors to the largest graveyard in Deep Hollow County. Oh, visitors to... Okay, got it. His grave had become a destination for unruly and often destructive local youths, and as such, Possum Springs City Council is considering erecting an iron gate to protect the historical tombstones that fill the small hollow where Joe Shade lies buried. Police have also stepped up patrols on the area, so be warned, thrill seekers. You may not see a ghost, but you may see a fine for trespassing. Oh look. Scooch so I can see. Graveyard, that's a gimme. I mean, if you're looking for ghost stuff, that's where they make a lot of them. Looks like they saw him in the old section. Oh cool, that's where his grave is. I'm actually interested in that. How could you not be interested? This is like actual dangerous ghost stuff. I like history. Ghosts are history. History that won't stay history. That's actually pretty good. Samuel Coulson has purchased 10 acres of land on the outskirts of Possum Springs. When we inquired as to what Mr. Coulson would use the land for, he would only remark that what was coming here would delight both young and old for years to come. We are very anxious to be delighted. Is it the food panther or whatever? 10 acres of land on the outskirts of Possum Springs. What is that in a reference to? Underground gases afflict many. The houses on Larch Street have been evacuated after the discovery of gas buildup in the basements was found to have led to hallucinations in scattered members of the households. For the past several weeks, residents have been complaining of family members who began hearing voices or seeing things that were not there. One older woman was found having an animated discussion with an empty chair. When pressed, she calmly explained that she was talking to her sister, who had passed away some 50 years ago. 2 nights ago, the son of Carson Zimmer ran out of the house and leapt into Cooper's Pond, 1 mile up the road. Moments before this, the child had been readying for bed, and according to another sibling, became increasingly agitated. The last words he uttered were about some sort of song before he dashed out of the house and into the night where his watery grave awaited him. This last event persuaded residents to request help from officials to see if this is related to St. Louvain's lantern, a phenomenon where exposure to specific underground gases leads certain victims to experience waking dreams, auditory hallucinations, and the sense of unseen presences. Preliminary tests indicate the gas is present in the homes, and mining officials are moving the residents until more tests can be completed. What do you think about this, B? Is that related to ghosts? No ghosts here. Huh. Strike lumbers on. The strike is now on its 30th day with no end in sight. The bosses have refused to meet with the miners, saying their demands are too fantastical. The miners claim they are only asking the bosses to adhere to safety standards that are already the law. The National Guard was called in after last week's scuffle, and the Coulson Coke Workers Union has joined the cause, which has caused an uptick in national press arriving at the site. The women's camp has expanded its services from serving meals to beating any non-union miner from entering the mines. So far, they have been successful in both ventures. Dang. Okay. Sound off. Opinion line. We would like to remind the men of our town to please refrain from spitting on the sidewalk. This unsanitary habit is unseemly and beneath you. Dang, really calling us out there. Parents, please be sure your daughters are not participating in the new trend of skirts showing the ankles. I do not think we need to remind you which road to brimstone this temporary fashion trend will lead your dear daughters down. Ugh! I have been witnessing more and more teenage girls coming into our town on a Saturday night unchaperoned, using vulgar slang terms, certainly unfit for me to print here, and blocking the sidewalks by walking arm in arm. They are loud and also flirt with boys unabashedly while smoking cigarettes. These young ladies need to be stopped before our young ladies get any ideas, or our boys will fall in with the wrong girl. Young men have been seen around Possum Springs engaging in the ridiculous behavior of wearing mismatched patterns in their suits. This type of outfit may be all the rage in Bright Harbor, but good luck getting any respectable businessmen around here to employ you. You all look like rabid clowns. Councilman Puchinskaya's plan for 3rd Street is a joke. What else is there to say? Is this a newspaper? Ay caramba. Ghostly rumors haunt New Historical Society. Oh, this is a good one for sure. Hey, hey, hey. Ghost spotted. Historical Society. History that won't stay history. In a history place. History place. Yeah, I've never been. You didn't go back in school? I think this was when I wasn't in school. Oh, after the softball incident. Oh. So it has something to do with softball, does it? Well, I played butterfly, or wait, no, that was baseball, wasn't it? I've certainly played a lot of softball in my life, so let's find out what kind of dismal activity May got up to. Yeah, I mostly just watched TV and did therapy. Well, it's actually a pretty cool old house. Used to be owned by one of the mine owners or something. Railroad mine, steel mill, something like that. An actual haunted house. No. Elementary school kids are there all the time. They have like summer arts and crafts programs. Oh well, still worth checking out. Okay, well that's like 3 leads. Oh wait, I haven't read this article yet. Ghostly rumors haunt New Historical Society. The Possum Springs Historical Society's conversion of the Schreigeist House into its new headquarters and education center has hit a snag. Custodian head Jed Newsom is resigned, citing strange occurrences in the old manor. I'd be there after hours doing my work and I'd hear someone walking around trying doorknobs. Came out to see who was fooling, but there was never anybody there, or there was never nobody there, said Newsom. Trying to get this map room operational for the children, all the while I'm looking over my shoulder expecting to see God knows what. Or GD knows what. Mr. Newsom had previously requested to work only daylight hours when other staff were present in the building, but even that proved to be too terrifying. I didn't go to the off-limits area anymore. I don't go up past the second floor and then only go to the office. I know the others laugh, say I'm seeing Little Joe or something, but they can all go spit. Little Joe, for the uninitiated, was a local ghost story popular some years ago. The Possum Springs Historical Society has refused to comment on Mr. Newsom's claims at this time. Let's boogie. Let's boogie. Also, is that it? No, let's look at more stuff. I kind of want to see everything, if that's cool. Deep Hollow County mourns. The final group of bodies from the 1888 explosion have been recovered 2 days shy of the 1-year anniversary of the tragedy. These 5 men bring the total of dead to 112. 2 of the men, Addison Pine and Henry Harvey, were the ones who set off the explosion. Although mine bosses have been informed that the gas pockets were present in that section, they elected to not inform Pine and Harvey of the possible danger. The other 3 bodies belonged to Peter Bledsoe, Christian Stanoff, and Peter Lathja. Peter Lathja's funeral arrangements will be handled by Father Lidditz, as the man's widow has since returned to Hungary with his 2 orphans. Ugh. It's awful. Okay, we read Strange But True. Read the events, spectral happenings. Oh. The Stanley T. Possum statue is officially open to the public, and we have to say we are smitten. For 2 cents, one can enter Stanley and spend quite a lovely time looking at the Possum Springs of yesteryear in the museum, enjoying some popped corn and fresh lemonade in the snack parlor decorated with Tiffany glass electric lights, before heading up a full 10 feet to see the sights of our beloved town through the eyes of this grand possum. There's even a beautiful train diorama that will delight both young and old. We predict Stanley T. Possum will be a sight that all passing through our town will desire to behold, and will be sure to draw many crowds. We read about Samuel Coulson. We heard about Little Joe. Read about the strike and the old pickaxe. Pie piracy. Dear citizens, please make note to keep your pies safe during the pleasant weather we are experiencing. Several ladies have reported pies from their kitchens disappearing at alarming rates. Even worse, the picky culprit is leaving behind only the rhubarb pies. Until this criminal is caught or the bad weather returns, we remind our housewives to make use of their pie safes indoors or stick to rhubarb. Pie piracy. The Stanley T. Possum statue, known by residents as Posse, is finally slated for demolition. We just read about it being so amazing. Posse closed in 1967, but Richard Coulson, son of Samuel, had hopes of refurbishing the statue for new generations. Posse stood silent for close to 60 years, witnessing the beginnings of the demise of the railroad, the mines, and the coke works that ushered in his existence. Teens and other vandals broke into Posse over the years, and climbing up through Posse became a rite of passage for many young people in the area. Residents have been torn over what to do with the beloved but derelict structure over the years, but 3 years ago, pressure began mounting to have it torn down. A storm knocked off Posse's ear, and the next year Ralph Jenkins fell from the staircase and broke both legs. Dang. Samantha Coulson Glick, father of Richard, finally agreed that it was time for Posse to go. The demolition will begin at 12 p.m. on Saturday, and viewing areas will be set up at a safe distance. Damn. Progress Springs in Possum Springs. Randolph Stafford, owner of the Bell's Hole Mine Works, has partnered with Samuel Coulson, owner of Coulson Coke Works. Daniel Glick, railroad magnate, has promised and prominent business owner Harrison Schreigeist to make some stunning improvements throughout the town. The 4 men desire to build a model of progressive living right here in Possum Springs. The old miners' double houses The old miners' double houses on Elm Street will be torn down and replaced with spacious single homes. A new elementary school will be opened nearby, along with the new state-of-the-art recreation center courtesy of Arnold Applebaum. This is in addition to the improvements Randolph Stafford promised the previously striking miners. Huh. Oh, there's been another sighting of the albino groundhog from a very reliable source this time. Edgar Studer reports that he saw the pure white beast digging near Shade Gap. Mr. Strutter has declined to give any more of an exact location and implores his fellow hunters to admire his anomaly from afar and leave him to his business. We could not agree more with this upstanding citizen and remind townsfolk that if you're interested in seeing an albino creature, to stop by Sudi's barbershop for a peek at his albino raccoon. We're certain this will assist your mind in completing the search for the groundhog. Alright, we've read about the underground gases and the hallucinations and everything. I think we're good here. Can I leave? Do I need to talk to you? No ghosts here. Do I have to go back to this? Did I check this? No, no ghosts here. Strike. Local ghost, Little Joe. This one was a ghost one. Oh, I can't press the button again on this one since I've already done it. No ghost here. I don't know, an albino groundhog isn't a ghost, but... yeah, I can't press it on those anymore. Okay, pressing escape works too. Got it. So we've got some leads. Can I borrow your car this week? Do you even have a license? I mean, no, regardless, but do you? Nope. No license, no credit cards, don't believe in money. You just believe in other people's cars and money. Yeah, that's kind of how that works, doesn't it? I didn't choose to be born into this society. Okay, well, I have, a job, so I can't drive you around to all those spots. I can maybe do the graveyard. I need to go there anyway. Cool, I'll see if Greg wants to do the other two. And I probably don't have to say this, but just because something happened in the past doesn't mean it's going to happen again. Hey nerd, ever hear that history repeats? It does. It does the same thing over and over again. So we've just been in a loop since we were living in caves? Yeah, that's science. Oh my freaking god. Did we miss something on the top floor? Is Larry still there? Let's see if we can go up higher than that floor we were on with the microfiche machine. Going up. And no, the answer is no. So we never found Larry, unless maybe he's here now? Although I can't run, so I'm like, it's not worth looking. Oops, I didn't mean to go up. Ay. Come on. So there are stacks at the library in the city that I live in, but they're all automated actually. It was interesting. I was like, these stacks are all pressed together. How can I find the book in this section? And you just literally have to press a button and the whole bookshelf slides to a different location. It's interesting. What's going on here? Ahem. What is that Miss Quelcy? Oh wow, haven't seen her since graduation. She was always kind of badass. School district did not fund that art program at all, but she made it work. She was like some sort of art teacher survivalist. Wow, I never realized. I think they pay her in bits of string and empty soda cans. Thank you all for coming to this second meeting of the Possum Springs Poetry Society. Do you want to stick around for this? Yeah. Tonight we have new poems from myself and Fisherman Jones and Selma Ann Forrester. I will start us off with one of my own. They don't actually pay her in string, right? Yes, May, they literally pay her in string. I was just joking. Right. Ahem. Letter to my worst student. To my worst student, the subject of my stories I tell friends back home when they ask about life out here in the sticks. It's you. I worry, at the end of my life, you will be the only one I remember. Why did you key my car? I know, it was you, Brian. Thanks, everyone. Poor Miss Quelcy. At least she's blowing off some steam. Next up, Fisherman Jones. Fisherman Jones has a poem for us. Two poems. They're short though. 2 poems. Take it away. Half. Dang, I'm trying to come up with voices on the spot. I don't know. Just give him an accent. Hi folks. Thanks. This is called Tunnel Eels. Tunnel eels, tunnel eels. I do not know how it feels to be in darkness all the time, born in muck and raised in slime, but neither do you know paths I've trudged, so it hardly is your place to judge. Okay, that's one poem. The next one is shorter. This is called Tunnel Frogs. Tunnel frog swims in the dark, must think it would be a lark to be a fisherman like me. But what do you know, amphibi? That's it. That's great. Thank you, Fisherman Joe. Oh, that's the fisherman down in the sewer. I totally just realized that just now. He definitely talks to the actual fish. Oh, most definitely. Finally, a poem by Selma Ann Forrester. I was never really sure about Selmer's gender. Thanks, May. You know her? Dude, she's like your neighbor. Oh. She writes these really funny, dorky, short poems. I'm up for something short and funny. This is called There's No Reception in Possum Springs. Haha! She's not wrong. Arm. No reception here. I wave my black phone in the air like a flare, like a prayer, but no reception. I read on the internet, babyface boy billionaire. Phone apps sold more money in one day than my family over 100 generations. More than my whole world ever has. World where house buying jobs became rent paying jobs, became living with family jobs. Boy billionaires. Money is access to politicians, waiting for us to die. Lead in our water, alcohol and lead in our water, alcohol and painkillers. Replace my job with an app. Replace my dreams of a house and a yard with a couch in the basement. The future is yours, Force 24/7 entrepreneurs. I just want a paycheck on my own life. I'm on the couch in the basement. They're in the house and the yard. Some night I will catch a bus out to the West Coast and burn their Silicon City to the ground. Holy shit. Wow, damn. Huh. She rhymed entrepreneur. I didn't even know what that word means. Thanks, everyone. Is she always like this? No. Wow. Huh. Thanks, everyone. See you in 2 weeks. Hey, Selmers. What? I liked your weird poem. Thanks, I wrote it myself. Wait, was the assumption that she didn't write it hers? Nice work, Selmer. I don't like that nickname. What are you two? Sorry. It's cool. Can we go now? Dang. It's a lot more to Selmers than we thought. Achievement unlocked. Poets of Possum Springs. Oh, well, it looks like we're about to have a meeting of our friends to discuss our findings. So thanks a lot for our journey through Microfiche today. We learned a lot about Possum Springs and about the mining background and about our very own May Borowski's grandfather. Great-grandfather? Not sure about the time frame there. And about ghosts, of course. So anyway, it looks like we're taking a really weird path to find out what happened that night by looking for ghosts, but I'm on board. Thanks for watching. I have been and I will continue to be Kip Icon as long as you friends continue to follow your drams. Bye!